Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. How are we doing out there on planet Earth tonight? Some of us are in some, aren't we, with these hurricane stuff? I didn't even know if I was going to go live with these winds here today. And yeah, I went out of all, I'm very cautious, as you guys know. I'm very OCD, and I would never go out in a storm and do something stupid, especially with a commercial driver's license, and take my life into my hands driving through a tropical storm. Anyway, it's a long story, but I had to go out to do something right at, like, I don't know, 2 o'clock here when the storm was hitting. And I thought it would be fine because it really wasn't that windy when I left. But it got really windy. And yeah, I had to like pull over at the gym and sit in the parking lot for like 20 minutes. And then I was like sketched out about getting back on the road. And then I was like, I got to make it home though. I got a show. Yeah, it was kind of stressful. And then I felt I felt like, you know what? I'm that dick, right? I'm that dick that got in the car when they knew better with a commercial license and decided to drive during a tropical storm because, of course, the wind wasn't going to pick up in my area. That wasn't going to be a problem. I had nothing to worry about. So anyway, yeah, I kind of feel like a douchebag today. I hope everybody's getting through it. I heard that the people in California, are getting hit with the wind and the rain, and then all of a sudden they get an earthquake. That's gotta suck, man. You know what I mean? You can't really go out. It's not really safe outside, and it's not really safe inside. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's lived in Cali knows exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, very happy to be here with everybody this evening. So happy that we are actually live right now, and I was able to actually start the stream, and we're live on the internet. That's great. I'm excited about that. And I think we are live on all platforms. Thank you, Better Lately, for the shades. So guys, as far as gold pills and Cash App donations, things like that, I'm going to go ahead and run through them at the end of the show because it's kind of too hard for me to keep track of them while I'm trying to go through all these different topics and stuff. So I'm going to do that. I got the chat up. I'm going to do that and scroll through there at the end of the show. Hey, it's good to see you, Better Lately. Thank you so much for the shades. It's good to see you, Neo. Hi, Methods. Thank you, Disco Daphne. I won't be upset if you got to go over to Severe. I understand. Hi, Music Man. All right, let me pull up YouTube over here. I think we're live on Rumble. We should be. If somebody could let me know, that would be awesome. Hi, Michael Scott, Woke One, Jason, UFO Mark, Toon Kid. Good to see you guys. Okay, so yeah, I will be checking those, the gold pills and the Cash App. I am demonetized on YouTube, so Cash App is the only way to support the channel if you're over on Rumble or if you're on Rockfin or if you're on YouTube. And of course, gold pills over in the foxhole, and I will check them and announce them at the end of the show. Welcome to the first ever episode of Into the Future with Alara. In these Into the Future episodes, I will be going into exotechnology stuff, defense stuff, all the things that are kind of listed on the show card, UFOs, whatever happens to be in the news and is relevant at the time, AI, stuff like that, hence the name Into the Future. So welcome to the first ever episode. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you, Forest Friend. Appreciate it. 5x5. Gotcha. Okay, so what, as far as what we're going to be going into tonight, so since I got the show together, it appears the Russian lander has now crashed into the moon. And of course, I kind of made a joke on Twitter by posting a reptilian, but who knows? You know what I mean? You don't know nowadays. We really don't know what's going on here. So, but it is kind of sus that the Russian lander crashed right into the moon. Who's responsible? I don't know, but we'll be going into a little bit of that. Of course, I have the slideshow tonight that I promised you from J-Man. J-Man's Twitter account is linked in the description on YouTube. It's linked in the description on Rumble. And if somebody could grab that, one of the mods could grab that and put that on Pilled, that would be awesome. So I have J-Mads. I have J-Man's PowerPoint on the MH370 forensic stuff and all the slides, and I will be showing that as well. Also, I did some deep diving into the South American troop movement, and I want to kind of share what I found with you guys. It's a little bit suspect, and we'll see what you guys think about that. So we'll be going into that. Let's see what else. New sound beaming tech. They're going to be able to beam it straight into your brain. Isn't that fantastic? I'm super excited for that. Super stoked on that one. Let's see what else. My mic's in the way. U.S. Space Force targeting adversary satellites. There's a new study challenging Einstein and Newton's theory of gravity. Okay. And levitation technology and the bioprinting of organs. What else? AI life advice. So Google DeepMind has decided that their AI is going to give you life advice. Don't you want life advice from a woke AI? Doesn't that sound like a great idea? I'm so excited for this. All right, so defining and regulating embryos. We're going to be going to that now that we've got, for those of you that used to watch Space Force News, we used to talk about the mini brains that were in the Petri dish and all kinds of this sort of weird, freakish stuff. And so now it's becoming an ethics debate. We're redefining and regulating what an embryo actually is because we've got cells growing in dishes with all kinds of weird, freaky things. So yeah, we will be doing that. We will be going into some UFO videos, that kind of thing. And that's about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am building a brand new Rumble. So if you are on Rumble, please make sure and go subscribe over there. And go and support your free speech platforms. I'm talking about pill.net and Rockfin. Go and make the free account. It's very important that you support those platforms. And believe me, you're going to need them. I don't know if anybody's noticed what's going on over on Twitter today, but it's a dumpster fire, and it's becoming really clear that is not a safe place and never will be. So we need to make sure that we are on these platforms which do respect our freedom of speech and do not censor people. All right, and on that note, hi guys. Hi, Hot Tamale. I love that name. It's so cute. Omazon. Thank you for your help, Omazon. Appreciate you. Glad you're here. Valhal. Loyal to the foil. Look, my wingman's out there. Good to see you, wingman. Allison Neal. Noctura Rising. Yeah, it's been a while, right? I'm back. I'm happy to be back. Super happy to be back. And I'm super happy that my show is actually live tonight. This is fantastic news. I didn't know if that was going to work out quite well. So let's see, what are we going to do first? I think we should do the slides only because it's going to be more difficult for me to pull those up. So let me try to negotiate these screens here and we can do the slides first. Oh, hi, Forest Friend. I see you. And John over there on Rumble. Awesome. I can see you guys. Good stuff. Thank you. All right. So let me see. Let me move these screens over here so we can do these slides first. And then we will go into the Peruvian alien madness situation going on. All right, MH370 slides. Here we go. Hold on, you got to share your screen, Alara. That would help. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, I hope this works out. I think it's going to work out. We hope it's going to work out. Slideshow. Oh, I think so. All right, guys, can you see the slideshow out there? Because I cannot see the screen while I'm doing this. So just give me a 5x5 in the chat if you can see the first slide in the slideshow on the MH370 videos. And, I've caught a lot of stuff on Twitter. I've been monitoring both Reddit and UFO Twitter for everybody else's latest work on this to try to, compare it against mine and this and that. So I've saved some of the tweets I found over on UFO Twitter, and I'll be sharing a couple of those too. As soon as I find out I'm okay and you guys can see the MH370 stuff, then I will go ahead and start the slideshow. Alrighty. Yeah, buddy. All right, I think we're good, but I want to make sure somebody okay, Music Man says we're 5x5. All right, good to go. So MH370 videos for those of you who are unaware, I did an episode, I don't know, a week and a half ago now on the MH370 videos that had been going around Reddit. One was a FLIR video and one was a satellite image. And, it was a very interesting thread to say the least. You can catch that episode. Like I said, it's about a week and a half old if you're not up to speed with what's going on. Anyway, these videos I felt were legitimate. Okay. And I hadn't seen anybody come up with anything substantial to debunk them. So I did a show on this. And so this is what I reached out for some help with the forensics on these videos to make sure they were actually genuine and they were real. My friend J-Man, whose link is in the description below, he did the forensics on these videos and sent them over to me. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you right now. Okay, so digital forensics tool used was ELA, error level analysis. ELA is used to determine if the digital signatures in an image have been altered or changed. Can you guys hear my voice? I just want to make sure you can hear my voice. You should be able to, but please let me know. Let me make sure you can hear my voice. I'm using StreamYard. I didn't used to use StreamYard. I used to use OBS, so I'm not totally familiar with it. I'm still getting used to it, how it works, and so that I don't screw things up. But I think I'm almost there. Okay, so ELA is used to determine if the digital signatures in an image have been altered or changed. When a media file, photos or videos is created, the image contains a digital signatures unique to that image, much like a fingerprint. If there have been changes to the image, i.e. Photoshop, CGI, or other alteration software, new digital signatures will be added to the image. Thank you, Forest Friend. Appreciate you. Thank you, Disco Daphne. Okay, much like a fingerprint. If there have been changes to the image, i.e. Photoshop, CGI, or other alteration software, new digital signatures will be added to the image. They will pop out and look out of place compared to the rest of the image. Okay, so for this video analysis, we're going to look at the 4 images from both videos, the satellite video and the FLIR footage. Now here is the satellite image 1. Satellite image 1 in ELA, 1 and 2. This is the cloud on the left and the plane. The plane, I'm guessing, is over on the right. He says these match. The digital signatures are exactly the same. There's nothing out of place. Okay, for satellite image 2, there's satellite image 2 where you've got the orbs swirling around the plane. Thank you, Doug is my. Doug is me. Doug see my. You can feel free to correct me if I totally destroy that. Thank you for the shades. Truth Junkie, it's all about kabuki theater. Is it? Okay, let's see. Okay, satellite image 2. There you go. Have the UFOs swirling around the plane, forming that circle. Satellite image 2 in the ELA, 1 and 2. We've got the cloud on the left, plane, UFOs on the right. The cloud, plane, and UFO signatures all look similar. Nothing jumps out as altered here. Satellite image 3, pictured on the screen. Satellite 3 ELA 1 and 2, the cloud, plane, and UFO. Again, both the cloud, the plane, and UFO signatures are similar. Nothing changed or nothing added or changed. Satellite 3 ELA 3, mouse cursor. This is the black mouse cursor you can see in the video when the footage is being scrolled through in order to keep focus on the plane. Notice its signatures stand out as yellow. It has been added, but we would expect that. So that's good because that gives you kind of an example of what something that's been added looks like. We can see that it sort of jumps out from the rest. Hi, Stacks. Good to see you. Satellite image 4. Here's satellite image 4. Now we're going to look at satellite image 4 in the ELA. The cloud and flashes signatures are both similar. This is real. This is what was caught on the satellite camera. It's worth mentioning that the brightness of the flash also shows up on the nearby clouds. Yeah, that was noted in the original thread. There, he had talked about how the flash of the thing opening illuminated the clouds and how that was very hard to falsify and fake that. So that's kind of what J-Man is going into here. This is the FLIR image 1. FLIR 1 ELA. Plane. There's the UFO. The background matches the plane and the UFO. Everything is normal here. FLIR image number 2, where we just have two of the discs flying around the plane, or whatever they are. FLIR 2 in the ELA. There's the plane. There's the zoom in on the UFO to the right. Zoom in on the plane is to the left. UFOs to the right. Our plane and the UFO again match. There's no alterations and no CGI. You see how the coloring in them matches? FLIR image 2, ELA 3. The crosshairs of the FLIR tracking system match also. FLIR image 3. We've got the 3 UFOs circling the plane. Oh, it's all just kabuki theater in general? I would have to agree with you. Okay, so FLIR image 3, we got the UFO circling the plane. FLIR 3 and ELA. The plane and the UFO's digital signatures still match. Now, he's showed me this stuff on other... We've gone through many UFO videos together, me and J-Man. And, you know, I recognize the ELA stuff because he showed me it too. It showed me it before in relation to other UFO videos, and we've picked out fakes with it before, and I got to where I could kind of understand it. The plane and the UFO's digital signatures match. FLIR image 4, probably the coolest one. That's funny that he wrote that, but it is the coolest one. This is the alleged Stargate or portal opening up and swallowing the plane. Okay, let's check out the Stargate in the ELA. Bottom left corner, some background, edge of the disk. To the right, that's going to be inside the disk. There is no difference between the background and the disk. And I had seen a lot going around UFO Twitter, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about when we start going into UFOs and things like that when we're done with the other science stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of people thinking this was certain effects from certain video games and this and that. And I really hadn't seen anything like truly debunking. You know, stuff was close. And one guy kind of captured it in one of his comments. He said, it's kind of like a snowflake. These things are close, but they're not a match. And I have to agree. So there's no difference here between the background and the disk. FLIR ELA 3, upper right corner, only background sky. The sky matches the other prior ELA from image 3. They are all similar. This is real and unmodified from when the camera, that's great, from when the camera captured it. Conclusion, both videos are real. This is the digital forensic evidence which proves it. The only thing altered is the mouse cursor in the satellite video, which is to be expected. What this all means, I'm not completely sure. Thank you to Alara for sharing my work. I can be found on Twitter or X as @JM4N. And his link is also in the description. Thank you so much for doing that. J-Man, really, really appreciate you for putting that slideshow together for us and for doing the forensics work on that. That is great. Give JM a thank you, guys. We appreciate him doing that for us. Very, very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here. All right, we're going to minimize that and go back to me here. All right, I'm back. Cool. All right, so hi, S23. Welcome. All right, so where were we? So next, so that's the conclusion on the MH370 stuff. And I, you know, like I said, I'll show you a little bit later what I'm talking about, but I have yet to see anything which tells me, you know, so did somebody drop these? I don't know. Did somebody, I don't know, but the plot thickens, right? The plot definitely thickens. Okay, so let's see what next. We are going to go into the South American stuff. Let me move these chats over. So yeah, the South American stuff. Let's see. Okay, now this is what made me decide that I absolutely... Hold on. Okay. This is, let me zoom in on this here a little bit. Can we zoom in? Yeah, zoom. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Settle down, buddy. You don't click on it too many times. If you do that, it becomes a problem, apparently. Okay, so this is absolutely what made me really start to question the Peru thing and start digging into all the troop movement, because this was simply absurd when this happened. So this was August 15th, 2023. This article comes out in the Jerusalem Post and several other places. Aliens who attacked the Peruvian tribe are illegal miners with jetpacks. Illegal miners with jetpacks. An indigenous tribe in Peru believes it is being attacked by aliens, but authorities believe that the real culprits are illegal gold miners wearing jetpacks. So I don't know about you, but that's the only thing that could be weirder than Peruvian aliens themselves would be, what is it? Illegal miners with jetpacks on. So as soon as I saw this, I thought, no, something's amiss here. Something's wrong. Peruvian authorities said that the aliens that attacked an indigenous village in Peru were actually illegal miners wearing jetpacks. Users on Twitter are pretty sure they're just trees. Now, I looked at the footage. In my opinion, there was something in the trees that woman taped, or whoever it was. It was a woman, man. We couldn't tell. But I think there was something in the trees. Now, what it was, I don't exactly know. And when the story first broke, I didn't know if this was an operation or if this was some sort of genuine attack. Okay, because allegedly there's these beans that the locals call face peelers, and that this has been going on for a while. That they show up in the village and they attack people and then they leave. Right, so. I don't know. A lot of strange stuff goes on in South America. The way that they look at the UFO topic and the way that they look at aliens in general is very different from the way that we look at it or the way that we discuss it, the way we have discussions about it here. So, I mean, who knows? You know, I was trying to remain open about it. Then I saw the troop movement down there and I thought, this is awfully interesting, right? So let me elaborate on what I'm talking about. A-10 Space Force joined in South American exercise for the first time. A-10 Warthog landed in South America for the first time ever recently as Air Force's Southern leads one of the largest exercises under U.S. Southern Command. Resolute Sentinel 23, the third edition of the training exercise in Southcom, involves roughly 1,000 personnel from the Air Force, Space Force, Army, Marine, Coast Guard, and 8 partner nations. The partner nations are Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Great Britain, Brazil, Chile, Panama, and Uruguay, right? Now, there's 2 possible directions my mind goes with this. One is the Belt and Road Initiative, which I can already hear Foyle on my shoulder going, what about the Belt and Road Initiative? Okay, so we're going to talk about the Belt and Road Initiative, which we discussed many times on Space Force News. So we're going to watch a little short video on what the Belt and Road Initiative is. So could it be related to that? Certainly. I'll definitely give it. It could be related to that. Okay. A lot of the countries that are involved in the Belt and Road Initiative are listed on here in this list of countries that are involved in this Resolute Sentinel exercise. Okay. This Resolute Sentinel exercise is led by the Air Force. It's the Space Force, Army, Marine, and Coast Guard. I think I already said that. They started this in 2021. It grew out of New Horizons and Beyond the Horizons in Central America. They're working on what they call agile combat employment concepts and aviation and aeromedical. Okay. This is the first year that Patriot Fury and Resolute Sentinel were integrated. Now, Patriot Fury is an exercise that's planned in Tucson, which is actually really close to me. So now here's the part that I find rather interesting. Okay. The alien siege going on in South America started on July 11th. Resolute Sentinel, although I've gone through several articles about this exercise and what's related to this, I have yet to really nail down a specific date. What they do say is it goes on in June and it goes on in July, okay? The only date I could kind of get nailed down from kind of looking into it was July 18th. So we know that it's going on in June, it's going on in July. I know for sure that they were doing some sort of exercise on the date of July 18th. So again, Alien Siege starts on July 11th. We've got this huge exercise going on with all these countries cooperating down in South America right at the same time. Now, I think it's unlikely that the two are not connected. So let's learn about the Belt and Road Initiative real quick. And so that we're definitely educated on that in order to make a decision about how we feel about whether we think this could be connected to the alien situation down there. Okay, let's see what she's got to say here. Okay, I just was informed that we're muted. So give me just a second, guys. Let me fix that problem. Yeah, if that happens and we're muted, just remind me. I'm not used to Stream Duck. Thank you, One Hot Tamale. Appreciate you guys over there getting my attention. I'm not used to having to hit the button. I got to hit a button to share the sound, and I'm not used to doing that. So just remind me if I do that. I got to hit the share system audio button, or you can't hear what we're doing. Okay, so now we should be in business. Okay, so let's just start here.
Think of the BRI as both a massive trade network and a political vision. It started with a speech that President Xi Jinping made back in Kazakhstan in 2013. He talked about building a new trade route based on the old Silk Road, an ancient network that linked Asia, the Middle East, and Europe for almost 2,000 years.
It started out in 2013 as an idea to invest in infrastructure from China through Central Asia to Europe and Africa. But over the years, it has become something much larger.
It's an absolutely colossal project, which is scheduled to involve 60% of the world population.
The Belt and Road Initiative basically weaves together lots of projects. It could be China building things from scratch, upgrading existing infrastructure, handing out loans, or making investments. There are overland routes that connect China to Central and South Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. That's the Belt. It includes what's called the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, where around $60 billion are being spent on things like coal and hydro power plants, wind farms, highways, and a new high-speed rail link between Peshawar and Karachi. Then there's the road part, which is slightly confusing because it actually refers to a maritime Silk Road, sea routes that connect China to Southeast Asia, Africa, and Europe. It includes major investments in ports across the world, places like Sri Lanka, Dubai, Djibouti, Greece, and Spain, even as far as Peru.
There are a lot of different initiatives, and the Belt and Road has become more of a label to capture a lot of what is going on.
Now, we listed some of the big examples, but BRI specifics are hard to come by. There's actually no confirmed list of everything and everyone involved, but it's estimated to include 2,600 projects in more than 100 countries. And that makes it hard to come up with an accurate price tag.
It is predicted that China's overall expenses over the duration of the initiative could reach $1.2 to $1.3 trillion by 2027.
So yes, it's what you're thinking. China's kind of infiltrating, and they're using the Belt and Road Initiative to do that, right? And there's a lot of this down in South America. South America really needs help with their infrastructure. It's falling apart. So they're getting this help from China. Okay. So could this exercise be related to the Belt and Road Initiative? Sure, it could. That's why I wanted to play a little bit about the Belt and Road Initiative so you guys could be familiar with what it is.
The end game here. Well, for China, the BRI is obviously about trade.
China imports a tremendous amount of raw materials, and they export a tremendous amount of value-added goods. In order to do that, they need access to these various resource countries and also markets.
But all this global interconnectedness and the huge amount of money involved means the Belt and Road Initiative is also political.
So what China's trying to do partly is to create a sort of web of interdependence. So it's telling other countries, look, you lack roads,
Having a sugar daddy is never a good idea, guys, right? There's always a price to pay. The money is never free, is it?
lack bridges, you lack railways, you lack power stations, a power grid. What we can do is come in, lend lots of money, and our companies can come in and build this for you, okay? But once countries become economically dependent on China, clearly there is then a geopolitical impact too.
By building all this stuff, China is also exporting its version of economic development. Now, the way the West has usually done it is to provide economic support, but with conditions attached, like certain democratic reforms. China's style is different.
They're not like the IMF or the World Bank, where they come in, assess the country, and say, look, this is what you need to do, A, B, C, D. Then we'll give you the money. China comes in and said, look, we'd like to support an infrastructure program that makes sense. What infrastructure needs do you have?
The World Bank reckons that China's BRI projects could lift more than 7 million people out of extreme poverty, and that transport projects could boost global trade by up to 6.2%. And of course, there are lots of countries eager to take China's money. Djibouti is one example. Its BRI projects include a major port, a new railway line.
Thank you, Johnny. That's sweet of you. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for your support. Lucid Leopard, did they not show the land route they planned through Russia, Alaska, and Canada? I'm sure they do, but this video's kind of long, and we've got a lot of stuff to cover today, so I'm sure they do. I just wanted people to get the overall idea of what the Belt and Road Initiative is and how much influence it has over South America right now. You know, so we'll give it another minute here, and then we'll move on.
Gas pipeline. China has put up around $14 billion in investments and loans for Djibouti between 2012 and 2020. But there are risks, like corruption, especially because there's so much secrecy surrounding most of these BRI deals.
Unfortunately, a lot of these countries, it becomes a political situation where people are putting projects where it best suits them politically. Surprise, surprise, if you look down the list of projects and who is in power, you'll find that almost always there's a connection.
So it's politicians making these deals. And there are plenty of examples of ordinary people losing out.
හම්බන්තොට ඉපදිච්ච මිනිස්සුන්ගේ භූමිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන් අහිමි කරන වැඩපිළිවෙලක් මේ යන්නේ.
Another thing to remember is that with all the talk of Chinese money funding these projects, it's often more accurate to say that it's actually Chinese loans. And that creates another risk, that some countries could be taking on too much debt. Remember Djibouti? It's facing what the World Bank calls debt distress. Its debt to China amounts to 70% of its GDP. And look at...
Okay, we're going to stop right there. So, yeah, you know, so China's taking over the world, and this is how they're doing it, okay? Daddy China is handing out the free bucks, but the bucks aren't free. That's your translation, okay? So, yes, could be related to that. That's the point. let's see what else here. So reservists sharpen readiness, build relationships at Resolute Sentinel. This goes into more about Resolute Sentinel. Yeah, I think we about covered that. We have a lot to do here. So this is just another article about, the 7-foot-tall aliens that attack the Peruvian village. I've told you this before. I obviously analyze data. Data is important to me. Facts, evidence are important to me. But I'm also, I kind of rely heavily on my intuition because I know that it's a valuable thing. And my intuition tells me that whatever's going on in Peru is an operation. Okay. And that's just the way I feel about it. Yes, it could be these other things. That's my feeling. You take the information I've given you and you make your own decision about that. But considering the level of technology that we have, and now if it is an operation, if it's an operation, why would they be scaring villagers as part of their operation into thinking that they are aliens? What would be the reason for that? So when I think about that, I think, I don't know what they got planned. Why would there be a military exercise, a secret one, scaring people into believing there's aliens, and then real alien disclosure, real UFO disclosure is pretty much at a standstill, and we'll go into that a little bit on the Hill. I've been wanting to come on here and talk about the amendment and everything that's in it. There's some promising things in the amendment. I still want to go through that, but now there's going to be some pushback on this. And, so I think why even come out with any of it at all in the first place? Why? When we're not really getting anywhere with it, why do that in the first place? Is this setting the stage for whatever's to come, right? Because we live in a very corrupt system and a very corrupt world with multiple corrupt governments. And I really don't put anything past these people, truthfully. Okay, so let's move on from there to, what do we got here? Okay, so there's this account on Twitter. His name is Ronnie Vernet, and that would be at Ronnie Vernet. Now, I'd heard this discussion about the face peelers, and I saw this video go around, and Timothy, I forget his last name. The Timothy you guys had brought up one time, you said, did I see his podcast? Yes, I did. Timothy, I forget his name. I don't want to mutilate his name, but he has a channel, and he did a good show on this and covered it. And thinking his show or somebody else's show, they showed video footage of a guy being dragged out of the water with his face eaten up and his throat eaten up. And I had seen this go around the internet and go around a lot of podcasts. So it's my understanding that footage is older, and it's from a murder of some sort of gang murder where the guy's face was like held in the water and piranha ate his face off. Not to be graphic, but yeah. So that's how you could arrive with someone with no face and no throat, is if you held their face in the water and the piranha ate it off. So that's the story that I heard, that's where that video came from. But however, this account, Ronnie Vernet, which I don't know if I can zoom in here on Ronnie Vernet, he is a Brazilian guy, I believe. And I kind of caught wind that he was on his way down to Brazil. Now, there hasn't just been the face peeler situation in Peru. There's been UFO sightings all over South America in the summer, okay? Particularly in Brazil. So it was my understanding that this gentleman went down there as sort of an independent journalist to go down there to report on all of these UFO sightings down there, okay? So he posts this on August 14th on Twitter. On September 28, 2013, can you guys see it good? A faceless body was found in Lake Imira near Pacalupa, in Peru. There were no signs of drowning, beating, animal attack, or use of slashing weapons. Locals spoke of ships and the pelicara, or the face peeler phenomenon. So I don't know that there's any legitimacy to the footage that was circulating around the internet with the guy with the missing face. But this photo is actually in the Brazilian paper. Okay. And I'm not going to show it on screen. It's blacked out, But if you go down there, he shows the actual photo of the guy, and you could see the guy with no face, the face peeled off. And this guy, there's the sauce that this guy is one of those face peeler cases, and it's actually in the Brazilian newspaper. So anyway, you can go to his account, you can find that tweet, and you can see the picture of the actual guy. This is one of the bodies from one of the actual face peeler victims right here. So just thought I would show you guys that. I thought that was kind of relevant and important. And they, like I said, they do show the picture of him. I just am blurring it out because, hey, Keystone, good to see you. Canadian. Desumra. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce that right. You feel free to correct me if I'm totally mutilating it, which I often do. PJ's Weirnick, good to see you. Good to see you. And hold on just you are there. Hi, Scott. Good to see you out there. Adam Hugapug, thank you for the phone. Okay, guys, I will get to the gold pills at the end of the show. I'm just so excited to see all of you. I've been gone for so long. It's very hard not to get distracted over there watching you and talking to you. And no more duality over there on Rumble. Hey, Alara, good to see you on Rumble. Yeah, happy to be over on Rumble now. Go over there and give me a subscription, guys, because I'm brand new on Rumble and I'm trying to build that channel over there. Okay, so where were we? Face peeler guy. We're done with the face peeler guy. We are moving on. Let's see, what do we have next? So yeah, lots of weird stuff happening in South America. And I don't know, related to the truth movement. My opinion, yeah, there's probably in relation. Okay, Russia's first lunar mission in decades crashes into the moon. There we go. Thank you, Elf Spark. You're welcome, Desert Fire. Now, this isn't suspect at all. Oh, man. Somebody flicked their lander into the moon. It's not the first time something's been flicked into the planetary body either. Average Joe. Good to see you. Thank you for the can. Okay, so yeah, we lost the Russian lander. Somebody flicked it into the moon. Who did that? I don't know. Was it the reptilians? Could be. Was it us? Possibly. We just don't know. Let's see here.
This was the firing gun on the latest space race. Russia and India both launching off in a bid to be the first country to deliver a lander to the south pole of the moon. And the frozen water that scientists believe may lie there. Russia had a slight head start. It launched its Luna 25 spacecraft 4 days ahead of India. And this was the prize. These pictures taken by the Russian craft. But 10 days into its mission to the moon, Luna 25 crashed into it instead. In a statement, the Roscosmos Space Agency said, the apparatus moved into an unpredictable orbit and ceased to exist as a result of a collision with the surface of the moon.
The moon was considered a vast, dry, desert-like surface, so that opens up an opportunity. If there is water, then at future there could be habitation on the moon. So India, America, China, Japan, all of them are looking closely at the south pole of the moon.
China was the latest country to land a probe on the moon, putting a rover on its far side for the first time. It's also launched a space station, which will be the only one in orbit once the International Space Station is decommissioned in January 2031. Space is becoming, once again, another field of competition for great powers. And last week, the US talked about its own ambitions
Now,
to land huge.
interesting, notable, right? Interesting that we have a Space Force article we're about to cover talking about how we're now targeting adversary satellites, right? And now the Russian lander has smacked into the moon. So I'm just saying, I like to look for connections. I like to connect dots. And sometimes I see dots where maybe someone else doesn't see a dot. But nevertheless, there might be a connection. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the demon particle. Let's talk about the demon particle a second. I forget how to get rid of all these commercials on the screen. I got to figure out what to do about that. Isn't there like a, I think there's a thing you can get that gets rid of that stuff. Anyway, I need to do that because it's very irritating. Okay. Oh no. What is it doing? Oh no, I didn't want to go to Best Buy. Everybody's trying to sell you something. Okay. Bizarre demon particle found inside superconductor could help unlock a holy grail of physics. The transparent chargeless quasiparticle could shed more light on the underlying mechanics of superconductivity. An elusive demon particle, a demon particle. Hold on, I gotta zoom in on this. You guys can't even see it. Okay. No, don't click on the Best Buy. We saw what happened last time. No, no, no. Okay. Let's try this again, everybody. Yes, I got to get rid of the ads. Clearly, because if I don't, I will snap live on air, and you guys don't want to see that. I'm sure you don't want to see that. Okay, let's try this again. Third time's a charm. The Pines demon is a transparent, chargeless particle discovered inside a sample of the superconductor strontium ruthenate. It is a plasmon, a ripple across the electrons of a plasma that behaves much like a particle, meaning it's a quasiparticle. Theorists think the plasmons, it's kind of a cool name. Theorists think the plasmons may facilitate superconductivity in materials. If physicists are able to find out how, they could use Pine's demon to shed light on room temperature superconductors, one of the holy grails of physics that would enable a near lossless transmission of electricity. The researchers published their findings on August 9th in the Nature journal. Demons have been theoretically conjectured for a long time, but experimentalists never studied them. Peter Abramate, we know I don't pronounce names because I will completely mutilate the names, and so we don't have me do that. That's a terrible idea. David Fiennes first conceived of his demon in 1956, predicting it would emerge inside certain metals when two sets of electrons at different energy bands form two plasmons. If these plasmons fell out of phase with each other, such that the peaks of one line up with the valleys of another, they could partially cancel out. Usually very specific temperatures are required to form one plasmon across an entire material, but Pines argued that his new combined plasmon, being massless, neutral, and taking its components from a mix of energies, could exist at room temperatures. He named his theoretical particle, which has a distinct electron motion, a demon. That's a strange thing to name your particle, you know? But I don't know. I don't name particles. It's not my job. I'm not a particle namer. So they don't give me that job. But still, nonetheless, it's strange to name your particle a demon. But hey. But its lack of mass and charge has made it difficult to hunt the demon. To hunt the demon, physicists behind the new study fired electrons at crystallized strontium ruthenate and measured their energies as the electrons bounced back. From this, they calculated the momentum of the plasma wave inside the material. The quasiparticle they discovered lurking inside the strontium ruthenate matched predictions for an electronic mode with no mass. Follow-up experiments replicated the researchers' initial discovery. They had found Pine's demon. At first, we had no idea what it was. Demons are not in the mainstream. Whoever wrote this article really had fun with it, okay? They had fun with it. At first, we had no idea that demons are not in the mainstream, okay? The possibility came up early on, and we basically laughed it off. Now, a physicist at the quantum technology company Quantinium said in the statement, but as we started ruling things out, we started to suspect that we really had found the demon. Doo-doo. Further study in other metals could unearth fundamental insights into how superconductors work. The study author said the standard theory, called BCS theory, suggests that superconductivity emerges when quantum scale sound waves known as phonons jiggle electrons into pairs known as copper pairs, fundamentally altering their behavior to that of a superfluid. But the possibility remains that Pine's demon may also be involved in nudging electrons together, and that could be used to understand and build better superconductors. What is this video here? What is this? This. Click on it. Just do it. Do it. We're going to see if it's boring or not. Okay. Thank you, UFO Mark. Much love. Okay, yeah. I don't know if we need to watch the video. We're going to pass on the video, guys. Unless you have a problem with that. We're going to pass. Okay, and the video is going out. Bye-bye video. All right, so moving on from there, where were we? Not Best Buy. We don't want to cover the Best Buy stuff. Get rid of that. I'm afraid if I click on it, just leave it alone. Okay, I'll leave it alone. That's fine. Futuristic device from Israel firm puts music in your head without headphones. This is kind of creepy. This is, hold on. I gotta zoom in again. There we go. There you go. Let me zoom in. Why am I zooming in? It's not like you guys are going to read the article while I'm reading it. So, but I just think it looks cleaner, and I don't know, makes my little OCD ass happy. So we're going to do it. All right. Imagine a world where you move around in your own personal sound bubble. You listen to your favorite tunes, play loud computer games, watch a movie, or get navigation directions in your car, all without disturbing those around you. That's the possibility presented by sound beaming, a new futuristic audio technology from Novito Systems, an Israeli company. On Friday, it will debut a desktop device that beams sound directly to a listener without the need for headphones. The company provided the Associated Press with an exclusive demo of the desktop prototype of its Soundbeam 1.0 before its launch on Friday. The listening sensation is straight out of a sci-fi movie. The 3D sound is so close it feels like it's inside your ears while also in front, above, and behind them. Okay, what is this? Should we click on it? Should we click on it, guys? Do you want to click on it? I think we should click on it. Let's try it.
Are you listening? Introducing sound beaming. You hear the audio, others don't without headphones.
When you are inside of the bubble, you get the sound.
Oh man, I wonder if this will help podcasters or make their life terrible. You know what I mean? Because we always have to have these headphones on and they're super hot on your brain. Let's be real. They suck. Okay. So sound beaming, would that just, I don't know if that would work or not. But it's an interesting thought, right? It's an interesting thought whether the sound beaming could work for podcasters.
The volume, the immersiveness of it. And where you're outside of it, you cannot get it. Sometimes you can hear a little bit of noise. Sometimes you hear there's something going on beside you, but you don't get the volume and you don't get the immersiveness of the sound experience. You don't need to tell the device where you are. It's not streaming to like one exact place. It follows you wherever you go. So it's personally for you, follows you, plays what you want.
Thumper just said voice of God. Yeah, I think that's what we're watching. Commercial voice of God technology use. I think that's exactly what we're watching. You called it, Thumper. Absolutely. Go back over here. TuneKid said the demon particle has no soul because there's no charge.
Inside your head.
Imagine
What
video
I
games with
experienced
this.
personally was having, for the first time, the sound playing in my head without the headphones. And then I was thinking, yeah, but is it the same as headphones? No, because I have the freedom. You know, it's like I have the freedom of being what I want to do, and I have the sounds playing in my head.
Would you do it, guys? Would you do it? I mean, I would love to be able to take my headphones off. That would be super exciting. So, I mean, I I don't know. I could try it. I would be willing to try it, maybe. Maybe it would be cool. Voice of God technology. See, that, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
As there would be something happening here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is difficult to explain because we have no reference for that. I don't think any other audio technology can do. And the other one is kind of the privacy that you can control when you get out of the bubble of sounds that is created, which again, I think is really what we're talking about. It makes us so different from headphones and regular.
Wait. Okay. All right.
Speakers.
Gaming becomes more immersive and three-dimensional.
It's a desktop device.
You hear that, Methods?
Now, obviously, we need to make it smaller. We need to fine-tune
more immersive,
things so it's working perfectly. The hope is to get it out next year before Christmas, so we have it under our Christmas tree.
There you go. Out by Christmas, guys. How exciting! Voice of God. You can have it in your head too. By this Christmas, you can give it as a gift. The voice of God to all your friends. You can put it under the Christmas tree. You can make a total thing out of it. You know, exciting times we live in. Okay, now I don't think I'm going to cover this. You know, Gillibrand made some comments. The UFO community they freaked out. UFO Twitter does that though. They just sort of freak out about stuff. So let's not cover that. We got too many things to go at tonight. So U.S. Space Force creates the first unit dedicated to targeting adversary satellites. Let's see. We are changing the way targeting is done across the joint community when it comes to space and electromagnetic warfare. The United States Space Force has activated its first and only unit dedicated to targeting other nations' satellites and the ground stations that support them. 75th Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Squadron, also known as ISRS, was activated on August 11th. July 11th. August 11th at Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado. This unit is part of Space Delta 7, an element of the U.S. Space Force tasked with providing intelligence on adversary space capabilities. It'll do things like analyze the capabilities of potential targets, locate and track these targets, as well as participate in target engagement, which presumably refers to destroying and/or disrupting adversary satellites. So was this really a lander up there, or was this an adversary satellite, a target of some kind? I don't know. Just saying. It's a possibility. The ground stations that support them and transmissions sent between the two. Alrighty. So let's see. What else do we got? All right. This is kind of frightening, but what isn't dystopian and frightening nowadays, really? Cutting-edge levitation technologies aim to revolutionize bioprinting and space travel. All right. New project is using cutting-edge levitation techniques to make bioprinting heart models and other complex tissues a reality. Dubbed Pulse, the product combines the recently developed techniques of acoustic levitation and magnetic levitation to manipulate individual components without actually touching them. It's a process that the researchers involved hope will one day facilitate the bioprinting of organs and other human tissues in much greater detail and complexity than what is achievable through current techniques. You know, Keystone sent me, she made a post today about, of 2 pieces of tomato. It's over on my channel, I think. Would you go post it over on my channel, Keystone, if it isn't already over there? Anyhow, one is an organic tomato, one is not an organic tomato. They cut into slices, they put in a bowl of water with some salt, okay? The one piece of tomato is just sitting there like you would think it would do, right? And the other piece of tomato, the one that's not organic, is moving like a worm in the salt water. Why? Okay, so I've seen this on a number of other people's shows, and this is there's truth to this. It wasn't something I planned on going to. I didn't pull up all the videos. There's other people that have done a fantastic job of covering this. I've seen Johnny and Sean Anon cover this. I've seen Woke Societies cover this. I've seen a lot of people cover this, but they're spraying us. We always knew it was heavy metals. We knew it was aluminum, barium, strontium, things like that. They were spraying us. Well, they're spraying us with, what do you call it? What do you call it? Why do the words just slip my mind sometimes? Yeah, anybody knows what I'm talking about? Feel free to give me the word. It'll come to me. Anyway, nanotechnology, basically. I forget the word for the actual things, but we're being sprayed with nanotechnology. Okay, not just heavy metals. This is inside of them. They're finding nanotechnology in unvaccinated people as well as the vaccinated people. So this is graphene. Graphene. That's what I'm talking about. There's graphene sprayed with the graphene. So my question is, what are they putting in the food? The non-organic food, right? And even the organic food. At this point is being sprayed with God knows what sort of nanotechnology, and it's in the food now. So, and we ingest the food and we breathe the air and everything. So even the people that weren't directly injected with it, it's affecting us. It's getting into our bodies. So while I'm on this topic, it's very important that you're doing things to counteract it. Okay. And that you're conscious, first of all, that you're consciously aware that this is happening, and that you make a conscious decision to counteract it. So I know for me, I've been taking Nicanase. I forget how to pronounce it. Nicanase. I looked this up. So there's a few things that I looked up personally that you can do to help repair infected blood that's infected with nanotechnology. Antioxidants are super important. High dose vitamin C, also super important. Chelation therapy helps. I am not a medical practitioner. I am not giving medical advice. I don't know anything about medicine. You should definitely go to your doctor if you need to get medical advice on this kind of thing. But I'm just telling you personally the things that I've done research about that has worked for me. And the Nicanase, I take that. I also drink pine needle tea. So these are all the things that I'm doing. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. Thank you, Karen Hare, for your cookie. Good to see you. I see you just came back from a ride. That looked like a lot of fun. I caught some of the pictures around the interwebs. So yes, Canadian says smart dust. Absolutely. We're talking about smart dust. Smart dust, nanotech. There's kind of no way of avoiding it now. And I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day that there's just no way to avoid it now. And the best thing you can do is, obviously don't ingest it or put it into your physical complex in a very direct way, obviously, right? But other than that, there's all these other things that you can do to help detoxify your body from heavy metals. I have been eating these things for such a long time, chlorella and spirulina. Okay. These help to detoxify your body from heavy metals. Also cilantro. I eat cilantro raw, like gobs of it. I like it, and it's good ASMR. I saw a video on Twitter of a beaver, a groundhog, whatever it was, eating lettuce. And anyway, I didn't know that. I guess it's a fun fact that it's actually good ASMR for us. We find it to be de-stressing. I think that's correct. I enjoyed that. I could probably listen to a rodent eat lettuce all day. It was very soothing and relaxing. So I'll have to say that I agree with that. So what did the rodent eating the lettuce have to do with chlorella and spirulina? Can somebody bring me back to reality here? Chlorella and spirulina and rodents eating lettuce? I don't know how I arrived there, but that's fine. We'll just go back to the article now. Hi, Don. No, good to see you, Mikey. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, Christina Love says yum cilantro. Yeah, I love. Some people think it tastes like dish soap, and they won't eat it. But I'm not one of those people. I love cilantro. I can just eat it like a little rabbit. But we know maybe that's how we got cilantro, was how I got to ASMR lettuce rodents. I don't know. Maybe that's how that happened. You guys can let me know. Supposedly Starbucks. So S23 says supposedly Starbucks had graphene in coffee for a long time. Can't confirm this. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't go anywhere near Starbucks. I just could feel like I've shared with you guys before. I could feel energetically that there's just something. They're putting something in that's making people addicted. Now, is there some of that stuff sprinkled in? I don't trust corporations. Okay, they're out to get us, all of them. I don't trust them. So any corporation that's trying to sling coffee and there's a line around the block in their drive-thru every morning to get their crappy, overpriced coffee. Wow. Too suspect. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll have to agree with you. That's definitely a possibility. S23. Mikey says, I eat cilantro every day. Yep. Don No says it takes chlorina spirulina every day too, every morning in a health drink. Yep. It's good stuff. There are methods as well as megadosing vitamin C, like more than 10,000 milligrams. Once again, I am not a doctor or a medical practitioner. I am not here to give any medical advice. If you want medical advice, you should definitely go see your doctor and get that medical advice. These are just suggestions from people who have been down this road. All right. Then Christina says, yes, number one, being conscious, declaring protection over your vessel, bless your water, and program it to heal your vessel. Absolutely right. So Christina's going woo with it, but Christina's absolutely right. So I would recommend the same things. You see these little discs that I have. I don't have any on the desk right now, but I have these little discs, and they're good for cleansing the water. Put your water on top. I like to put love into my crystals and put the crystals underneath the water and energize the water with love. This stuff isn't like full woo. There's documentation to prove that talking to the water, frequencies, all of these things, they affect the water, and then the water affects your vessel because everything is energy. Okay. And you're either creating a positive field, or you're creating a negative field. That's up to you. Right. And it's thoughts, it's actions, it's what you drink, it's what you eat, it's what you watch, it's all of it. So I will absolutely 100% agree with Christina on that. All right. So, yep. All right. Well, moving right along. Okay. So now that we've got off our tangent here. All right. So the pulse, if perfected, researchers also hope this type of bioprinting could even help on long-term space missions, as more accurate organ models can create more accurate defenses against radiation and other stresses of space travel. If you're fighting with a Klingon and she stabs you in the kidney with her batleth, I don't know what a batleth is. I don't remember. I'm sure Foyle would know because she is the resident Star Trek expert. She watches it nonstop every day, all day for the rest of her life. She lives in Star Trek, truthfully. She doesn't live here. So that's why she's so tolerant of this place, because she doesn't really live here. She lives in Star Trek. So I'm sure Foyle would know. We can ask her what a batleth is. It's whatever that thing is that the Klingons stab you with. I think I know what it is. Isn't that weird looking weapon that I remember enough Star Trek? It's like that weird, anyway, like a sickle. It's like the Reaper sickle, but like kind of more badass. I think that's what it is. But you can feel free to correct me, loyal to the Foyle, if I'm wrong about that. So the kidney with her baleth, you can probably run to the local holographic doctor and have them grow a new one for you. But if you aren't serving on a 23rd century starship, but instead are living in the early 21st century, growing replacement organs isn't really an option yet, but it is getting close, they say. The first efforts to use a 3D printer to make living tissues or artificial tissues that can replace living ones began sometime around 2007. Since then, the technology has shown some progress, including the ability to print, and researchers term an organoid, or more poignantly, an organ on a chip. See, here we go. This is what I'm talking about with the what is a fetus now? A combination of living and synthetic tissues. These handy little devices allow drug researchers and other scientists to replace animal subjects with test options that are more closely related to the humans the drugs are ultimately intended for. More recently, 3D bioprinting has advanced enough that bone replacements are more common, including one procedure that replaces damaged or missing bones with an artificial scaffolding covered in stem cells that are absorbed and replaced by the body over time until the artificial bone is completely gone. That's crazy. Bone scaffolding. We're at bone scaffolding. That's wild. I mean, I could use bone scaffolding, actually. My knees are completely shot. They are terrible. They grind and crunch, and I mean, it's bad. And I've been taking calcium and magnesium supplements. And since I've been doing that, it's not nearly as bad. It's way, 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 way better. And by the way, magnesium, I'm a firm believer there is. And so if you have anxiety, once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just stating what has worked for me. Magnesium is great for anxiety, and it helps you sleep, and it's natural. You don't have to, I know some people resort to that have sleeping issues, especially with the stress we have in today's world. You know, people resort to all kinds of bad things to sleep, you know, like drinking and pills or whatever. So just letting you know, magnesium does wonders for the heart, and it does wonders for sleep and anxiety. So I'm a firm believer in magnesium. Once again, not a doctor, not a medical professional, not giving advice, just telling you what has worked for me. All right. So how levitation is changing the bioprinting game. By combining magnetic and acoustic levitation into an innovative bioprinting platform, Pulse's device should be capable of achieving unparalleled spatial temporal control of cell deposition. Deposition, explains a press release announcing the creation of Pulse. This new technology facilitates the precise manipulation of biological materials, enabling the creation of highly sophisticated and realistic organoids that closely mimic the complexity of the corresponding human organs. The debrief has previously reported on the exciting breakthroughs taking place in both the magnetic levitation and acoustic levitation, with each technology also something previously only seen in science fiction. And of course, I believe, like I'm sure many others believe, that the acoustic levitation was probably how these megalithic structures were built. So I think, if you were to ask me, it's a combination of acoustic levitation, which is a science that we're just now beginning to come back around to, that clearly the ancients had access to, and they used it to build structures easily. I think it's a combination of that. We had giant people around. We had technologies like acoustic levitation. Okay. And that's how a lot of these things were built. Now, as far as the cutting of some of the things, some of the structures, that's very suspect. Some of the like diamond precision cuts and stuff that we can't even do now. I don't know. I don't really have a current take on that, but I do think the levitation with sound was definitely something that was utilized by the ancients. Let's see. Skeletank McGraw says, magnesium stopped me from having terrible calf cramps all the time. Yeah, magnesium is magnesium is some amazing stuff, definitely. And looks like New England Dirt Roadie says I don't know how to pronounce it. L-theine is good for anxiety, and so is iodine. Once again, not a medical professional. Okay, not giving advice here. We're just naming some things that have worked for us along the path. So Toon Kid says, apparently scientists trapped light inside of a metamaterial and made it 10 times more magnetic. Think of the levitative possibilities. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Jason Verbelli out in the chat. He's working on all this sort of alternative science stuff, and pretty amazing, man. I can't fully wrap my mind around a lot of it, but I'm glad we have people like him. Jer Zir Brandizalog, man, that name I'm really struggling with, over on Rumble. It's whatever is in the white sugar corn syrup. Super addicting. Focusing on the sugar helped me break all the food and drink addictions, right? Yeah, there's something funky going on there with that. Something funky going on. Rainbow Snuggle Fritz, magnesium is good too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of magnesium all the way. Hi, Squirt Brat. Good to see you. Okay, so let's move along from the levitation onto the next subject. From the levitation. I'm still getting used to StreamYard, guys, but it's getting easier. I just was so used to OBS. It threw me, not doing this for a year and a half and then completely switching the platform I was using to do it on. It, took me a second to sort of get it. Now, so let's move on to what is an embryo. Scientists say the definition needs to change. And of course it does now, because now we're growing all kinds of crazy things in dishes. Have you guys seen the heart cells? I think VK tweeted that out, of heart cells in a petri dish, and they were beating. The heart cells were beating. It was the craziest thing. So that's why this conversation is becoming necessary. What is an embryo? Scientists say the definition. Thank you, Karen Hare, for your cookie. Mill your own wheat, Jesus bread. What is an embryo? Scientists say definition needs to change. It is time for the redefinition of the human embryo. A team of researchers has proposed. Advances in recent years have shown that human stem cells can be used to make embryo-like structures called embryo models that can recreate some features of an early embryo in development. Such research raises ethical dilemmas because these entities don't meet formal definitions of what an embryo is, and this is a problem. See, Foyle and I have mentioned this many times on the show, and this is a problem. We're going to have to redefine embryos now, because this is a problem, the stuff we're growing in dishes. And also the thought police, because invasion of your thoughts now is a real thing, okay? So there needs to be an ethical guide for what is permitted and what is not permitted when it comes to, because we're in the days of Minority Report now. That's where we're at, okay? And if we don't have a constitution that governs over, freedom of thought, there's going to be some invasion here that's terrible. That's already going on, I'm sure. That's already going on. So other things, you know, there's so much corruption and things that we have to overcome, right? Like we need one more thing to lobby for, right? But this is definitely a problem, and something we need to be lobbying for is some kind of constitution when it comes to thoughts. What is off limits and what is not, and what is legal and what is not legal. So that's something we need to be looking into, as well as redefining what an embryo is, redefining what a being is. We don't even understand as a species when the soul comes into the body, when life actually is life, right? Even our own society is confused about this. We all have kind of different understandings of this. So we just sort of, especially people on the conservative side of things, we tend to just go with at conception, right? Because we don't know when does the soul enter the physical body? When does a being become conscious? When does it become a being, right? So if we say at conception, then that's safe, right? Because we don't really know when that happens, right? So definitely redefining what an embryo is it even at conception now? When we're growing something in a dish, at what point is it alive? Is it conscious? You know, and these are important questions that we need to be asking. So such research raises ethical dilemmas because these entities don't meet formal definitions of embryos, so are not covered by regulations governing embryo research. In a paper published in Cell on August 17th, biologist Nicholas Rivron at the Institute of Molecular Biology in Vienna and his colleagues suggest a new definition of human embryos that would include embryo models if they acquire the potential to develop into a fetus. Stem cell researcher Berna Zozen at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, says that a redefinition of the embryo would be timely, not only to better reflect our current knowledge, but also to pave the way for more accurate and inclusive discussions within the scientific community. Clusters of cells. Embryo models are clusters of embryonic stem cells that can begin to differentiate and organize themselves in ways that resemble the development of an early embryo. They can also be made from induced pluripotent cells, which are mature cells reprogrammed into a stem cell-like state. Embryo models also include cells that are the progenitors of supporting tissues in the uterus, such as an extra embryonic cells that form a yolk sac, and this has got to hit me with every word, right? Trophoblast stem cells that produce the placenta. These other cell types can also be made from ESC. Some researchers are using embryo models to study embryo development with the ethical and legal constraints that apply to real embryos. Currently, many countries follow the recommendation of the International Society for Stem Cell Research that no human embryo may be cultured outside of the body beyond 14 days after fertilization. The limit means that the research on later developmental stages, which could help researchers to understand the causes of miscarriages and developmental defects, rely mainly on animal models, which are not always reliable guides to human development. Scary stuff, guys. The stuff that we're growing in dishes. It's wild. It's wild. A lot of ethical conversations we need to have, but, you know, that's kind of going on globally and in many different respects. So, gravity. Let's talk about gravity for a minute. New study challenges Einstein and Newton's theories of gravity. I got more ads popping up. Gravity is the force that attracts objects toward the Earth and maintains the orbital motion of planets around the sun. Our scientific understanding of gravity was established by Isaac Newton in 1687. Newton's theory of gravity stood the test of time for 2 centuries until Albert Einstein proposed his general theory of relativity, filling in the gaps left by Newton's theory of gravity. Why can I not speak properly, guys? Like, it's a real thing for me. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Glad you could stop in. It's weird. It's weird. You're a weird chick, Alara. I know. That's fine. Recently, a new study has found direct evidence for a modified theory of gravity at low acceleration. Professor Koo-hoon Che carried out the study from Sihong University in Seoul, Korea. Che observed the orbital behaviors of cosmic structures called wide binary stars from data collected by the European Space Agency's Gaia Space Telescope. These findings were significant as they point towards a new theory of gravity different from the Newtonian-Einstein theory. Newton and Einstein's theory of gravity. Newton's theory of gravity was revolutionary at the time. It successfully explained the attraction between bodies on Earth and beyond, granting us a deeper understanding of planetary motion. However, as the scope of technology expanded, Newton's framework revealed gaps in its ability to account for complex gravitational phenomena. Anomalies in Mercury's orbit were one of them, which puzzled astronomers and showed that the theory falls apart in explaining extreme gravitational conditions. Then in 1915, Einstein published his opus magnum, The General Theory of Relativity. This transformative theory reimagined gravity as the curvature of space-time itself, unifying mass and energy in a cosmic dance. Einstein's theory bridged Mercury's orbit and explained the bending of starlight around massive bodies during a solar eclipse. However, even Einstein's visionary insights fell short in the face of the cosmic abyss, black holes where gravity becomes indefinitely intense. Indefinitely intense. To fill in these gaps, scientists propose the concept of dark matter. This elusive form of matter is invisible as it doesn't interact with light, but its effects can be seen... Water. Oh no. I was paused for a second. I thought maybe I lost my stream. I hope not. Man. Right? Mark. I do what you do now. This is going to be fun. Okay. All right. To fill in these gaps, scientists propose the concept of dark matter. This elusive form of matter is invisible as it doesn't interact with light, but effects can be seen through this gravitational pull. It's postulated to explain the discrepancies between observed gravitational effects and predictions. But we don't know what form dark matter takes or if it even exists. So it's this thing that we talk about. We don't even know if it exists, right? Or what it actually is. So that's a big problem for me. There's clearly some discrepancies in our scientific understanding, right? And the examples of this are all around you. There's spaceships, and they do stuff that they shouldn't be able to do according to our science. So clearly we need to be asking questions and doing research and staying open, because it's obvious to me we don't know much. And my understanding of science is very limited, especially physics. You know, I understand the basics, but it's clear to me that we have some things off. That's all I'm saying. Although dark matter could potentially explain the discrepancies, many scientists have been skeptical because of the lack of evidence. This has led to alternative theories. Modified Newtonian dynamics, or MOND, was first proposed by Israeli scientist Mordechai Milgram in 1983 and could explain these galactic anomalies, including the ones observed by K. The basic premise of MOND is that Newtonian gravity, which works well for most everyday situations, might behave differently at extremely low accelerations. This deviation from Newtonian physics is suggested to occur when the gravitational fields are weak. Mond suggests that these low accelerations, the force of gravity no longer follows the familiar inverse square law, but exhibits a different functional form. The idea behind MOND is to modify Newtonian gravity to explain gravitational anomalies like galaxy orbital velocities without requiring dark matter. It suggests that the acceleration depends on masses and scale-dependent function, which means that how gravity operates changes based on size or scale of the system being studied, distinct from traditional gravity. Wide binary star systems. K analyzed 26,500 comprehensive binary star systems within 650 light years from the data collected by the Gaia telescope. Wide binary star systems consist of two stars in relatively distant orbits around each other. K's investigation into these systems revealed that at ultra low accelerations, the observed accelerations were 30 to 40% higher than traditional predictions, suggesting a potential breakdown of standard gravity. This unexpected acceleration boost is explained by a quadratic Langerian, AQUAL, a Mond-influenced theory of gravity co-authored by Milgram, making direct evidence of standard gravity breakdown at weak acceleration. In one press release, Kay explained why he chose to study these systems. From the start, it seemed clear to me that gravity could be most directly and efficiently tested by calculating accelerations, because the gravitational field itself is an acceleration. My recent research experiences with galactic rotation curves led me to this idea. Galactic disks and wide binaries share some similarity in their orbits, though wide binaries follow highly elongated orbits, while hydrogen gas particles in a galactic disk follow nearly circular orbits, he said. Kay's study does more than challenge the status quo. It lays the foundation for a broader exploration of gravity's mysteries. He hopes his results will be confirmed and refined using larger and better data sets in time. All right, so from there, let's see. What is this? All right, we covered that. There's an AI health startup that aims to keep doctors up to date on the latest science. I just want to quickly mention this, and then we'll move on. One of the limitations of large language models is that their training is frozen in time. If you ask OpenAI's, you got to go away. Why aren't you going away? Okay. One of the limitations of large language models is that their training is frozen in time. If you ask OpenAI's virtual chatbot ChatGPT if the COVID vaccines work against the most common variant circulating 2023, it responds, as an AI language model should, I don't have access to real-time data or information beyond my last update. It's in September of 2021. A tremendous amount has changed since then. There are new COVID strains, new vaccine and drug approvals, and tens of thousands of new scientific studies. In order for chatbots to be useful in a medical setting, they're going to need access to the latest research. Armed with $32 million in capital, nearly a dozen employees with PhDs or PhD candidates, and a supercomputer in the Nevada desert, Daniel Nadler has been working to solve this knowledge cutoff problem with his new startup called Open Evidence. So, yeah. Constantly retraining language learning models requires huge amounts of costly computing power, but there is another option. It's a technical and engineering challenge that involves marrying these language models with real-time fire hose of clinical documents, says Open Evidence's founder, Nadler, who is 40 years old. Essentially, granting the AI access to a new pool of data right before it goes to answer the question, a process computer scientists call retrieval augmented generation. Yeah, so this stuff is happening with the large language models. I mean, really, for me to cover AI stuff, it really needs to have its own show, because there's just so much going on with AI right now. And that's why I incorporated in this show into the future too, because it's so rapidly changing and evolving right now, AI, that it's just got to be a main topic when you're talking about exotechnology and science. AI is just kind of where we're at with it. It's just a fundamental part of our world at this point. So I saw that Chris Mellon had tweeted out some disappointing news about what's going on in the Hill with relation to the UFO topic, and to the disclosure process. And I go through my waves with this stuff, you guys. I care, as you well know, I care very much about this topic, because I one of those people, whether you want to call it fortunate, maybe I'm fortunate, maybe I'm not fortunate, but fortunate enough, I consider myself fortunate enough to have had the experience of having interactions with UAP. Okay, we'll say UAP because I've had interactions with multiple different ships, orbs, things, just phenomenon. So, and I know, but I think what makes my experience stand out, maybe at least to me, is that a lot of people see UFOs. I think a lot of people are beginning to see UFOs. This is happening more consistently with a lot of different people. But a lot of what I've seen, for whatever reason, right, is ours. Okay. So, and then having that experience of seeing something that is ours really close up, however you want to say this, it did something to me, whether that was a shift in consciousness or a weapon. Okay. I don't know. Right. But I think it was a shift in consciousness. I think that's what it was. So what was my point to that? It makes me care. about the disclosure topic in a way that perhaps others do not. And I don't expect other people to. I really don't. I'm grateful that people will even hear me out on this topic. I don't expect other people to have the same passion or the same drive for this topic that I have. Anyway, I have my moments where I get really like kind of triggered about this, and I try not to, because it seems like it's just like we go in circles and we don't ever get anywhere. And I see the whole system on our planet, the way that we live, and we don't have to live this way. But because a group of people who have managed to get a hold of this technology and back engineer it outside of congressional oversight, there's a group of people who have access to this stuff and the rest of us do not. And this technology could totally revolutionize life as we know it on this planet. So that's why I have such a passion for this topic, and why I feel compelled to always cover it and to stay on top of it in whatever way that I can do that at the time. Because it's really, this isn't about the aliens, guys. Like, this isn't about, are there aliens? Are there not aliens? Are they demons? Are they interdimensional? Are they from another planet? Are they from inside the earth? Are they from the ocean? That's not what this is about, right? Like, all of that's important. Yes, I'd like to meet them, no matter who they are. The benevolent ones, I would like to meet them. The malevolent ones, I'd like them to kick rocks. But that's not really what this is about. This is about the technology. This is about freedom for our species. It's about evolution. Instead of having to survive, that song was just released. I can't remember the name of it. Oliver Anthony, by that artist, Oliver Anthony. It's been all over the net. It's gone viral. And that song has really touched a chord in humanity. And I'm so grateful to see that, because all of these people making these doing these additions to that song and recording it and putting it on the internet. I've been seeing them all over the place. It's warming my heart, because I feel like humanity is starting to get it. That song touched so many hearts. It doesn't matter what political side you're on. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, what religion you are, what views you have on aliens or don't have on aliens. That song we can all relate to, is the fact that we are living in a very suppressed society, and we are all paying way more for stuff than we should be paying. And we are all struggling, and it shouldn't be this way. There should be more to life than this. And there is a way that this can change. And that's the release of these technologies. So really, guys, this isn't about aliens. This is about freedom. This is about fixing our planet and having an entirely new world. So that was my TED talk about disclosure, but that's why it's such a thing for me. So anyway, Chris Mellon tweeted this out, says we're really not getting where. I don't have his tweet pulled up, but bipartisan House group pushes for select committee classified hearings on UFOs. A group of representatives for pushing for public information on identified aerial phenomena is having difficulty continuing their effort after a blockbuster committee hearing last month. The Hill hosted an event Thursday. The Truth is Out There, UFOs and National Security, which was moderated by congressional reporter Michael Schnell, and featured 3 of the 4 members of Congress who have pushed for UAP transparency. I hear from people more on the subject than anything else. Rep. Jared Moskowitz said, not the Trump indictments, not Hunter Biden. They're talking about the UAP hearing because there's great interest in this government transparency issue. Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee said that the group, comprising Reps Matt Gaetz and Anna Paulina Luna, Moskowitz and himself, will likely not get another opportunity for a hearing unless Speaker McCarthy designates a select committee on UAPs, as they have requested. That select committee would give subpoena powers to force leaders in the Department of Defense and others to testify. Where was I? My screen flashed. Just a second. That select committee would give subpoena powers to force leaders in the Department of Defense and others to testify and push past the roadblocks the group has faced so far in seeing classified material and getting timely responses, Burchett said. We're running into a lot of roadblocks there, and that's the problem with the whole thing. It just creates more and more conspiracy theories because our federal government is so arrogant and so bloated, and they'll just run out the clock, Burchett said. I'm guilty of this as well, but Americans want their pizzas in 30 minutes or less, and that's about our daggum attention span. Burchett cracks me up. He completely cracks me up. All right, so where was I here? Give me just a second. All right. The hearing last month featured 3 witnesses who have firsthand knowledge of UAP sightings. Former intelligence officer whistleblower David Grush claimed the government has recovered non-human biological pilots from downed UAPs, which the Pentagon has denied. In the hearing last month, Grush said he couldn't speak on much of his knowledge because it was classified, but the investigating members told The Hill that they are being slowed by the Pentagon on getting a classified hearing with Grush started. The excuse that the Department of Defense is using for us not being able to get a skiff is that Grush doesn't have an active security clearance. So unless he has active clearance, they're saying that he can't divulge the information to us, which one I believe is false, Luna said at the Hill event. The Department of Defense is literally trying to stonewall us. Luna also threatened to use congressional power to lower the salary of specific officials who are getting in the way of investigation, saying there's a select group of people who have become megalomaniacs with this information. So, she's just basically saying what I just said to you. And at least we got a few people on the Hill that apparently seem to be fighting for this topic now. And that warms my heart, encourages me, So I don't believe this is fair to the American people to not be able to see information that absolutely has the ability to impact them directly, especially from a national security perspective, she added. So, yeah, not good news on the disclosure front, but the fight continues. This is Burchett in his one of his latest interviews talking about this very topic.
When it comes to UFOs. I sat down with him last week. Here's that conversation. Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you so much for joining us today. First question I have is, there was a really fascinating hearing last month with those 3 witnesses who spoke about either their personal experiences witnessing UAPs or hearing accounts from others. I was curious to know, what did you find that was most surprising or most interesting during that hearing?
Well, none of it was surprising to me. I had a good attorney tell me one time, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. And I've been following this issue since I was a kid. I mean, literally, I was single digits reading up on this stuff. And so, and I knew I knew the witnesses' backgrounds, and a couple of them I knew personally. So I was very much aware of the questions and where they were leading. But I was delighted that they held up their hand and said it under oath. It's one thing seeing it on an interview on YouTube. It's another thing I've seen it holding up their hand before God and Congress and telling the truth. So I was very much delighted by that.
And then at a number of occasions during that hearing, the witnesses have said that they were unable to get into specifics or fully answer your questions because we were in a public setting. Congresswoman Luna, after the hearing, had mentioned that they were going to work on, her and a group of lawmakers were going to work on.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned over on the Foxhole Dark Journalist. Yeah, I absolutely love Dark Journalist. I watch Dark Journalist all the time. And I really kind of like what he has to say. And his presence is very calming too, I think. So, yeah, I'm definitely into Dark Journalist.
On moving, having another hearing, speaking to the witnesses rather, in a public setting, perhaps in a skiff. Are you part of those efforts? And can you give a status update, if so, where those efforts are?
Yeah, Matt Gaetz penned a letter that myself and 3 others signed that we're trying to, we'd like for Speaker McCarthy and, well, Chairman Comer actually to appoint a select committee just to do just that. So we would have subpoena powers and we could bring those people in. I think the thing is, if they don't have anything to hide, if the Pentagon doesn't, then they shouldn't throw up another roadblock as they've done in the past on some of this other stuff. So hopefully the Chairman Comer, I suspect the American public, though, is is lighting him up and Speaker McCarthy about this issue, because it's polling shows that there's more than half the population believes that there's something else out there, and those are pretty good odds for a politician. I always say 50% plus one is all you need on election day, but they've clearly, and it's really touched a nerve.
You mentioned the letter asking to create that subcommittee, that select committee on UAPs that you mentioned. You, Matt Gaetz, a few others wrote that to Speaker McCarthy. First off, have you heard back from Speaker McCarthy? If you can give a status update on where those efforts are. And then second off, other from then having subpoena power, being able to talk about these circumstances in a closed setting, are there any other reasons why a select committee would help and aid your efforts?
The SCIF, we run into so many roadblocks there. We're trying to use a third-party administrator and all this stuff. It's just, we're running into a lot of roadblocks there, and that's the problem with this whole thing. It just creates more and more conspiracy theories, because our federal government is so arrogant and so bloated, and they can just they'll just run out the clock. I'm guilty of this as well, but Americans want their pizzas in 30 minutes or less, and that's about our dadgum attention span.
Have you heard back from Speaker McCarthy about this request?
No, I have not. I'm going to be, I
think Burchett, people resonate with Burchett. I keep wanting to say Burchett every time I say his name. People resonate with Burchett because he's real. He's real, and he's just him, and he says what a lot of us are thinking, but nobody in Capitol Hill ever says that he does. And he says it in his own unique country, Tennessee way.
I'd let the dust settle a little bit. I know some folks are vacationing and I don't want to bother him, but he knows my interest, and I've talked with Chairman.
Hi, Foyle. Good night.
Again.
Thank you.
And then before we dive into the specifics of what was actually said in the hearing and parse through those details, I'm just curious, the public, as you mentioned, was really captivated during that hearing last month. I think that you mentioned that someone had traveled all the way from Denmark to attend this hearing. Are you guys planning more hearings in the months to come? Because I know there's probably, I'm sure, more information that you guys want to discuss.
Yeah, there is, but I think the select committee, if we can get that and kind of get out from, the chairman's kind of is really busy right now. There's a lot of things that we're oversighting over, and judiciary is as well. And if we could set up that separate committee, I think that'd be the avenue to take all those other things down. And I think we could start a series of hearings as well. And I'd like to take them out from under the Capitol at some point. Maybe some of the areas that we think where we think that there's some activity at, and be more open to the public.
Do you think that the only way that we could see more hearings on this topic is if we get that select committee?
I think we could probably do it under the committee system, but it's the current committee system. But I don't think that I think the powers that be will squash it if we do that. That's why I think we need a select committee.
And when you say powers that be, who exactly are you referring to there?
People that make the calls. We couldn't. You're in the press. That I don't know if you knew this or not, but I was alerted by the press on the day of our press conference, where 4 of us were in there and talking about what we expected from the committee and what was going to happen, and questions we were going to ask, and people that were going to be there. That we announced to our expert witnesses. They were going to put us in one of the rooms that was under construction, for goodness sakes. We had people that we'd called to testify that said no. In fact, they had gotten a call from somebody at the Pentagon, and they were encouraged not to be there. One who was.
So I'm going to stop it right there. But the point is they're getting stonewalled. So, things are not looking real good with that topic right now. I'm not even sure how far that amendment's going to get, so unfortunately. But I'll keep you updated. Okay, so I follow this account over on Twitter. We're going to kind of jump into some UFO videos and some of the stuff on Twitter, other work that people had done on the MH370 topic. And we're going to go into a few UFO videos, and then we're going to close out the show for the evening. So this think tank account over on Twitter at 528vibes is an interesting account. I've been following him for a while. And he tends to do good work, and he tends to be honest, and I like that. So I'm going to show you a couple of tweets from Twitter. One would be his. So this one here, either NASA is using open source graphics to hoax people, or the resemblance of the shapes is a studied phenomenon replicated by a DOE contractor. This is a NASA animation overlaid on top of the plane video. So some of these videos that I've seen on Twitter are interesting. They're very close matches, but in my opinion, they're not exact. And so obviously that it doesn't debunk the footage. Now, again, I know if it's MH370? Absolutely not. But J-Rod did the forensics. The videos appear to be unaltered. And I have yet to see anything, either on Reddit or on UFO Twitter, that tells me that these are false. Okay. I think that that's close, that one, but it's not an exact match. Let's look at another one. This coming from Matt MacPherson over on Twitter, at It's Matt Mac. Seems the MH370 videos have been debunked. The silhouette for the portal looks like it matches Pyromania VFX. Again, in my opinion, very close, but not a match. I don't know. What do you guys think? Where are you at with the MH370 stuff? I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. See, again, close, right? But to me, not a match. Coupled with the forensics that J-Man did, I'm still going with genuine footage. All right. All right, so we're going to ditch that one and move to the next one. This one coming from Neil Goodman, at NEIL_Goodman. The case is not yet closed. This is the comparison of the portal with a real supernova explosion captured by NASA. It could be that the two shock waves are similar. Again, in this comparison, I agree that they are similar, but not exact. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, now this I just happened to stumble across on Twitter, and I thought this was rather interesting. So this coming from the account Truth Poll, at TRUTHPOLE, reports of a mysterious energy wave hitting the crowd at a Lana Del Rey. And I'm partial to Lana Del Rey. I love Lana Del Rey, in case anybody didn't know that. I love Lana Del Rey. Reports a mysterious energy wave hitting the crowd at a Lana Del Rey concert has sparked controversy on the internet that took place in Foro Sol in Mexico City on August 15th. Is it just something unexplainable or something that is weird? So check this out, guys. This is really weird. Let me make it full screen. I'm going to mute it because I don't need any issues, but just watch. It's going to take watching it a couple times to see it happen. Are you guys seeing what's happening? Something goes across that whole crowd and throws them all to the left. Very, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Wonder what that could be. Very strange. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this video coming from... In just a moment. Black Triangle UFO video coming from Mike Colangelo. I don't know how to say his last name right. Colangelo at Mike, Mike Colangelo. He's posted a Black Triangle video, which was stabilized, that he got from Raster X over on Reddit. He believes that this is the video that Lou Elizondo was talking about when they said that they had a Lou Elizondo said there's triangle footage out there where you can see the skin of the craft. And he said that it's really good footage. Anyway, he believes that that's what this is. I wanted to show you this footage. See what you guys think. So I don't know. I don't know what I think about those lights. You know, I've seen and captured a TR-3B, and it had red lights on the corner, at least the one I captured. So maybe this is a different model, or maybe they can switch between white and red lights. I don't know. I mean, clearly there's the red ion drive there in the center. As far as the outward lights being white, I think that's interesting. It's very different from the one that I saw. But maybe there's many different kinds, or they can change the lights on them. I don't know. So let's move on to the next one. All right, this has been going on around a lot. I got this particular footage from Vicky Verma at Unexplained 2020. This UFO footage was filmed by a pilot, George, I'm not even going to try to say it, Artiga, while flying over Antigua, I don't know how to say that, Antioquia, Colombia in 2023. I think this is really interesting footage, guys. Check this out. Hi, Matt. Hi, Kitty. Good to see you. UFO Mark says, Michael Scott says, wonder if they hit some kind of frequency point when the music that made the crowd do that in the Lana Del Rey video. Anyway, I thought this UFO video is very interesting. And there's really, everybody's going so crazy over on UFO Reddit that there's really not a lot of UFOs posted over there like there normally is, because everybody's totally stuck on this MH370 thing. So... Wait 1 second here. Now this one guy got from a cruise ship. I'm gonna kind of fast forward. It's kind of weird, you know? Kind of weird. Anyway, kind of goes on for a while. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Russ Colhart has seen some stuff at Elgin Air Force Base, so I didn't know about this. Again, this post coming from Mike Colangelo. I hope I didn't mutilate that. At MikeColangelo. He's a really good account that has a lot of good information over on Twitter. So this clip from Russ Colhart is kind of interesting, the things that he says in this one.
Who's also, I think, on the Armed Services Committee. The Luna one is interesting. Okay, so Luna is somebody who's perceived to be on the right in American politics. And she was part of a trio of congressional representatives who were going to a Florida base, the Eglin Air Force Base, a few weeks ago. And Luna and Tim Burchett are, I think, both on the Oversight and Accountability Committee. But this is how the game's played, because they were with a guy called Matt Gaetz, who's much more on the right of US politics, but who's also, I think, on the Armed Services Committee, the HASC. And they had been approached, they tell me, by US Air Force pilots who wanted to talk to them and show them videos of shocking stuff. I've seen some of these videos, shocking stuff of objects engaging with their jet fighter aircraft. Not classified, because they've shot it on their mobile phones in their cockpit, because they were so pissed off that the Air Force was telling them not to talk about it, or sorry, the Navy was telling them not to talk about it, that they took their phones up and just started photographing it. And then they contacted their MPs and, or sorry, their representatives, and basically said, can we show you this? So Gaetz, Luna, and Burchett literally went down to Florida, went onto the base, and then the base commander, a brigadier general, declined to give them access to talk to the pilots, breathtaking arrogance, and declined to let them see the videos. And there is now, I mean, if anything was calculated to insult a member of the House of Congress, it's a brigadier general, a jumped up little tin ass in a uniform, telling one of the members of an oversight committee that they're not allowed to see something that pilots want to raise with them as an issue of safety, national security. Well, fuck them. And I can tell you, Luna is pissed.
Yeah, she's I'm glad we got Luna on our side, that's for sure. All right, let's see. Oh, so the black triangle, I showed you that one. So this again coming from Think Take at 528 Vibes. This comment is absolutely 100% on the money. The last debunk about the VFX asset being used only lends further credibility that the MH370 video is in fact real, hoping to be proven wrong. So the comment here, which is what I agree with, the best and most concise way I've seen it described is comparing it to a snowflake, all similar, though quite different under examination. I also find it interesting that the company that the shockwave upload in question came from has ties to the DoD, physics and film of nuclear explosions. IMO, this debunk actually lays more credence to the fucking authenticity of these videos. Pardon my French, I shouldn't say the word, but oh well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Okay, this coming from UFO Sightings Daily. You're going to want to subscribe to his channel, UFO Sightings Daily. Scott does a great job over there. He's always got really, really interesting UFO footage. And I've yet to really find anything that's disingenuous from Scott. So he's a good guy.
The fuck is that in the sky? Thank you, simulation. Just give me some pushes. What the fuck is that in the sky, man? It's gone down to one light. There was 4 lights in the sky a second ago. What the fuck, man? That ain't a plane. There's another one there. It's just come out of the sky. That's literally it's coming down, bruv. Bruv, it's coming down.
Looks like we're having a little bit of internet issues. If you guys can still hear me, if we're still up. I'm surprised we've made it this long, as bad as the wind is outside. So hopefully it'll settle down. There we go.
Aliens. What the fuck is going on, bruv? They're coming down. They're coming out of the sky, bruv. Bruv. It's coming out of the sky, mate. Nah, they're not Chinese lanterns, mate, because Chinese lanterns they go up from the ground. These are just coming out of the sky. Get this bush out of my way, bro. What the hell, man? What a night for Stonehenge, mate!
Wow.
Summer solstice with the aliens.
This guy's great. Can I keep him? Oh, our internet's getting really hairy here. Oh boy. Yeah, our internet's getting hairy, guys. I better cut the show. All right. We're gonna save these ones. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the show because the internet's getting really bad. Internet's getting really bad. I think it's because of the wind, and we're already a little bit over 2 hours at this point anyways. So I am going to go ahead and cut the show a couple UFO videos early here. Let me see. Okay, so let me go ahead and get to the gold pills over on the Foxhole and check the Cash App right now. I'm still scrolling. Give me just a second. I gotta scroll all the way to the top. All the way to the top. It's a lot of scrolling. Okay, so I'm still scrolling. Still scrolling. Yeah, I don't know if this is the best idea. It's going to take me an hour just to scroll to the top. Okay, here we go. I think I'm almost to the top. I remember seeing somebody do this back in the day. I don't know how they did it, though, if the chat's still moving. Yeah, guys, I'm going to have to find another way to do this because it's every time you guys put a comment, it just keeps scrolling. And, oh, you can pause it. That's right. Okay, you can pause it. Never mind. I'm tripping. You can pause it. So let me get back up to the top. Ah, that's useful. That's awfully useful. Still scrolling. Give me a second. Okay, while I'm scrolling, let me check the Cash App. Okay. Still scrolling. That's a busy chat tonight, guys. You've been chatty. You've been very chatty. Yeah, the internet's like super slow and weird right now. Still trying to get to the top. My word. Wow. Okay. So let's see. Thank you to Death by Russ for the cookie. Drop a little nug for you. Thank you, Death by Russ. Glad you stopped by. I know it's in a weird time zone there in Australia. Omazon, 106 gold pills. Thank you, Omazon, for your support. Let's see here. Better Lately, coming with the shades. Great to see you, friend. Thank you, Better Lately. Matrix Codebreaker donated 111 gold pills. Thank you, Matrix Codebreaker. Better Lately with the cookie. Don't read this now. Wait for later. There we go. Let's see. The busy chat. Dougzamy with the gift of the shades. Thank you. Deborah R with the cookie. Let's do this. All right. Rise Attire with the can. What up, Alara? Max and I are watching on Rumble with our TV. Wanted to hop in Foxhole to show you some love. What's up, chat? Good to see you, Rise. Yeah, it must be cool for you that I'm on the Rumble now. You can watch me on the TV, the big TV, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Glad you could be here. Sean Joe coming with the cookie. Thank you, Sean Joe. Let's see here. Johnny Q, 1,000 gold pills. Thank you, Johnny. We're going to have to stop doing that now. I appreciate you. You're a sweetheart. Thank you for all your help. You're a good friend to me. Adam Hugapug with the phone, calling for everyone to give Alara a hug. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you. We love our Adam, our serial hugger over on the Foxhole. He's great. All right, let's see. Music Man coming with the cookie. Thank you, Music Man. Average Joe Patriot with the can. Good to see you back. Much love. Sean Joe with the cookie. And what am I missing? Karen Hare with the cookie says, hey. Sturgis baby, best trip ever. Glad you had fun, Karen. Good to see you back around. All right, let's see. Karen Hare with another cookie. Mill your own wheat, Jesus bread. I already grabbed that one. All right. Yeah, this is very time consuming. I might just catch them like I did tonight and not do this at the end because it's very time consuming. Death by Rust with the 344 gold pills. Thank you, Death by Rust. Amethyst Cat with the cookie. Much love, she says. Frodo Baggins with the cookie. Great show. Thank you, Frodo Baggins. I see you over on Rumble too. All right. Yep, I think I pretty much covered them. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate your support. Let me check the Cash App. Let's see, over on Cash App. UFO Mark with the 60. Thank you, UFO Mark. Very nice of you. UFO Mark says, so glad you're back, Commander. Thank you, UFO Mark. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you. All right, so let's see. That's done. Now I need to go and release the scratching for you guys. Let me do that quickly. Release that scratching over on the Foxhole. Okay. All right, let me get to the scratching, guys, and we'll release your scratch off. Scratch off released. Over on the Foxhole, you should begin to get your scratch off now. I think I released it. Are you guys getting your scratch? I released it, so it should be coming out there. Yeah, okay, I see people getting their gold pills from the scratching. Okay, awesome, perfect. Okay, so there's lots of exciting stuff coming up in the next few weeks. I haven't quite determined exactly what I'm doing yet, but I will post links as soon as I know. You can follow me over on Twitter, or you can follow me over on Telegram. The links are always in the description, or the mods will be posting the links as well. In fact, I'll put the links up on the screen real quick. You can follow me over there. I'll definitely post updates on what I'm doing next and when that's going to be. So as far as I know, I will be live again on Thursday, probably same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, but I'm not exactly sure what I will be doing yet. There's a few different things I'm debating on which one of them I will be doing. But I will be back next Sunday to do the science stuff like I did tonight. So I'll be back with Into the Future next Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will be back same time on Thursday, though I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing yet. I want to say a big thank you to the mods. Thank you so much for your help on all the platforms. It's so good to be back and see everybody tonight and be back kind of doing my jam, which is science, the thing that I love so much. It's been great hanging out with you guys tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe from the storm out there. Those of you that are caught up dealing with the storm and with the earthquake, my thoughts and prayers are with you. And on that note, I will bid you a good night, you guys, and I will see you on Thursday evening.